Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You were ready 10 minutes ago. So was I.
Yeah, you were ready 22 minutes ago. So,
Well, yeah, exactly. Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I am James. I'm having a really strange sense of deja vu.
So that the Salty Tadpoles have got a little bit of background there. This is the second time that I've had to do the intro. We only talked for about 6 minutes. It's all good.
Yeah.
But some naughty people in the kitchen that I live with there they are again. They're clonking and banging still. So
Well, let's run with it.
So yeah. But that not banging in the rude sense, though, I have to say, thank God. But
Shocking. See, my brain hadn't even gone there. I mean, I just assumed initially that the noise was caused by the doggy doing barking or something.
Nope.
But no. Socks is clearly being good.
He is a good boy. He's definitely a good boy. It's the humans that are naughty. So
Future way to fix it is set Socks on the humans.
yeah, exactly. So I have 4 Codswallops this evening.
Yeah.
Not really. Just 3. So anyway, James, let's crack on into it.
Yes.
How have you been this week? I say loosely because I know that it's been chaotic. So
it has been. I mean, it's not too. Some stuff has been very good. If we go from the weekend to now, it's factoring in the weekend, it's been all right. I'm just tired because of obviously work. I'm tired because long COVID still messes me up. It's the fatigue will probably never end. I'm still waking up tired, and I get tired easily. But on a positive note, I saw my dad at the weekend. That was very nice. We spent a bit of time together, had a lovely lunch that I cooked, did a big minted lamb joint that we had. So yeah, that was very nice. And hopefully I'll see him again this weekend because he's pondering whether he will come and help me with some planting in the garden. So yeah, not too bad on those fronts. Not too bad at all.
nice. So what are you thinking of planting?
Roses.
Ah,
So I've got some roses that need planting. So yeah, going to make the garden look nice. It's only taken me 12 years to pull it all together, but better late than never.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's your permanent home until it's not anyway, isn't it? So
Until I die, yeah.
yeah. I mean, unless you need to move at any point, but
Well, yeah, that's true.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, you've got plenty of time then in that case to, well, hopefully. So yeah, well, that sounds good.
Yeah, thank you. The only real negative, just to put the rumours to bed, I didn't win the 109 million.
Oh,
Or did I? Because I wouldn't tell anyone if I did.
well, I'd hope you'd tell me at least.
Sorry, guys, I didn't. It didn't happen. But, I'm hoping whoever did win it needs it. So
I'm sure they don't. I'm sure that they're wealthy already, the arseholes. Although,
well, regardless, they are now very wealthy. So.
yeah, I was going to say, to be honest, I can't really complain because I haven't played. So, it's all good.
Well, neither did I that time. So, yeah. And to be fair, the reality is it could ruin your life. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want it. Well, we do. No. We secretly, universe.
We'd like to win, but I do also recognise the reality that it could absolutely destroy your life. But anyway, we've segued into the weird and woolly stuff. So, Gemma, more importantly than any of the weird and woolly stuff is, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I broke a nail the other day, which wasn't fantastic. I know.
Oh, dear.
It's disgusting, wasn't it?
Painful.
No, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. I'm only teasing. I was just doing the female thing. Although it can be painful to break a nail, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't painful. It was just, I just decided to get rid of it because it was already chipped. So I thought that would be a funny start of it.
Yep.
This week I've been up to Poole a couple of times, which has been nice. I went one morning. This was before work, so met up with people at 7:30. So it meant getting up at 6 o'clock. Ouch. But
Oh, I remember the time when I used to have to get up at 5:30 or earlier. Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. So, yeah, it was nice because I was actually meeting, because we've got a new member of staff, and obviously where we're all still working from home until I get to my Codswallop, that it was nice to actually meet her, so it was actually nice. And it was 2 of my friends there as well. So yeah, we had breakfast together and that was very nice. And I got home about 9:30, but they were expecting me to be a bit late because obviously the distance I had to do. So, but yes, I had a very nice, tasty breakfast. And then yesterday I went to Paul again to have dinner with another 2 friends. And that was also very nice, apart from one of them's got food poisoning today. So that's not great. And I decided to drive the road that I had the accident on both occasions. But on the way back last night, I do have to admit that it was a bit of a white knuckle ride, to be honest. I was quite scared, but I did it. So, and that's the first time that I've driven that road in the dark now since the accident. So I was quite proud of myself, really, but it was quite nerve-wracking. So
I can understand, but it's good that Venison Highway didn't cause you any problems.
No. Apart from the only thing that happened was a stupid person walked across the road. Outfit-wise, they were wearing full black, but luckily they had a white dog. So I saw the dog. So I could slow down in time. But my God, I was like, who wears black? It was a country road as well.
Gemma, this should have the new world now. If anything had happened,
I know.
As a motorist, we're in the wrong.
I know. I have a feeling that might be a joint Codswallop in a moment. Maybe. Other than that, really, I've not really done much this week, to be honest. So, I can't really think. But that still was both nice occasions to actually, see friends and stuff like that. So I've actually got quite a busy February because I found out that Jamie Westwood and Mrs. Westwood, so his wife, and the family and stuff are coming down in a couple of weeks. They're coming down to Weymouth for a wedding.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm going to be able to see them, but also I'm seeing a friend who had their baby 4 months ago, and I've not met her yet. So obviously the baby, not my friend.
I was going to say, that's an interesting friendship setup.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Although I've only met you once or twice, so,
I think twice. Yeah. I mean, clearly it was traumatic enough that you've not seen me since.
Well, I'm trying to see you soon.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We'll see what we can pull together. The world is a strange, convoluted place at the moment, and things are just very strange and scary.
Yes, it is. But, so I'm planning a trip to go up to Birmingham at the end of at the end of April, and sort of like, over the bank holiday weekend sort of thing. So I've got that all booked in now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to see James, even though he doesn't live in Birmingham. He can get in his car and drive down.
Don't live near Birmingham.
Yeah, but I don't live near Birmingham either, James.
No, that's true. That's true. None of us. So basically, we've chosen anything. None of us are near.
No. So if I was to drive to you, that would mean that I'd have to drive 6 hours home.
Yeah, it would. It would just. Yeah, I'm trying to. I can't remember how long it took me to go to Birmingham. I'll have to. I mean, I won't try and work this out now, but I'm going to have to chat to Lyndon.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 hours.
Yeah, guest and listener on the pod, as you will know, because he and I did a Birmingham convention. So, and I had to take the train when anyway. Yeah. Side note, I'll work it out in my head at some point in the future. Yeah,
not right now, though. But I think it is about 2 hours. So, it's around about
I think it was something like that, 2 and something hours on the train. So, something like that.
See, you can do that for your friend. Just to prove that you have a friend.
Yeah. The entire purpose being to prove I have a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Only one, but
Well.
All right, Kay.
When it's me, all you need is one.
Yeah, I was going to say, really, because deep down the friendship isn't there. Gemma's just doing this out of kindness, so it's maybe quarter, half of a friend, something like that. It's pity friendship.
Well, I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to put you down, but... Oh dear. Right. So We are doing a bit of a quickie episode this week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move on to our Codswallops now and end with a few stories of the week. So we've each got 2 stories. So we're going to, So it's either going to be a 30 to 40 minute episode. So as you can probably tell by the name of the episode, it's called a quickie or something related to quickies. Mm-hmm. Another update as well that I should say is that, with regards to our YouTube channel, I said last week that we had 22 people. We've now got doubled that and we've got 44, I think it is, or 40 something, 44, I think. So that's good. But also we definitely would love anybody else who's got a YouTube account to click and, like and subscribe. James, if you've got one, feel free to click that button. Or if you haven't got one, create one so that you can click that button.
I'll see who I can get to also join and watch us through the wonderful medium that is YouTube. And at some point, Salty Tadpoles, you may well get to see a wonderful video of me and Gemma. Well, wonderful video of Gemma, me, mediocre, if we get enough, if Salty Tadpoles want it enough, I will put the bag over my head. Not to kill myself. Don't, not into that sort of stuff, just so you don't have to see me.
Oh, well, it's just as long as it's a paper bag, not a plastic bag, because we don't want you to suffocate. We'll do some air holes.
And just a point, this isn't going to be like unless you pay enough and we turn it into OnlyFans and it becomes an autoerotic asphyxiation video.
Oh, okay, do I have to be involved?
Without the death. No death. Well, no, you'd have to be there to make sure I don't die.
Let's move on.
Let's elevate it from the from the lows, from the lows to the highs, or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's quickly move this on so that we don't feel awkward anymore.
Let's move it. I mean, to be fair, the fact that we've been discussing autoerotic asphyxiation, our listeners are Salty Tadpoles. It kind of links. It kind of links.
It does. It absolutely does. So, have you got any Codswallop this week, James?
Nothing horrendous, but the only obvious one that I think we're going to both share is the changes to the highway code, which have created it's not. I mean, you get a lot of cyclists around here anyway who are the bane of my existence, but I've got to be honest, they've not caused me a major problem. The only thing is, it's the concern that it could create issues for people using roads. The one that amuses me is you've got to open the door in a certain way. That's what mirrors are for. And the one that has cracked me up, though I noticed people didn't do this for me, but when I was out with my dad, we were quite amused by the fact that as soon as we got to like a crossing area, you saw this look of panic on motorists' faces looking at you, because they're thinking, oh my God, we've got to let him get across the road. We can't get in trouble for it. And me and my dad were like, yeah, you can see this look of panic, but the worry I have is it's going to create it will get problematic at some point. Things are going to go horribly wrong because people are not going to know what to do, or they're going to get surly. Yeah. The problem we have here is when you get cyclists out, they're in a lot of groups. You get a lot of group cyclists. So the positioning themselves to the middle of the road, riding two abreast, it just worries me that could easily become an accident. It will slow people down, definitely, but it could easily become an accident. And I thought the idea of when cyclists were maybe in one row and to the side was a safe way of doing things, but I don't know. But anyway, I get a feeling this has annoyed you, Jim. You expected me to be more rageful, I'm sure, but I've not been. So I'm going to ask, how has it annoyed you?
Well, I'd say that other Codswallops have more raged me than this one, but it still has. It's still frustrating because. Well, actually, I haven't read up about it, to be completely honest. So just quickly going back to the fact that you said that you have to open a door the certain way. What's that?
It's like you've got to open it to, I think, is it going to someone can correct me, but it's opening with an opposing hand or something, so you can look over your shoulder and see there's anyone coming the other way. I think it's the idea is that you're opening with your left hand to open the door if you're a passenger. So, no, however you're doing it, you're looking so you can see behind you to make sure you don't open the door and somebody's coming past. Makes sense, but that is what mirrors on a car are for as well. So.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's normally what I do. I just look into the mirror quickly and then I have a quick glance round to just double check and then open the door normal. But, I mean, I do see quite a lot of people just open their door and, like a car will come flying past and they're wondering why they got a door in their hand.
Yeah, that is the problem. But to me, that's what the mirrors are for. But it's been more fun watching how pissed off some people on Facebook have been about it, to be honest.
I've seen none of that, so I've just kind of ignored it all. But yeah, I think, my biggest thing that I said was that, and I said this to my mum as well, that I think what needs to happen, if this is going to be the case, that pedestrians and cyclists and anybody else needs to read the proper handbook and learn the rules of the road, so that we're all on exactly the same page. Because, it's my mum has been a driver, but she wasn't a driver for very long, so she's been more of a pedestrian than anything.
Right.
But, she's in her 70s, and she wouldn't, all those years ago when she passed her driving test, she wouldn't remember what the rules of the road were, so it's kind of like, I think people do need to just look up all those reasons, or just put more zebra crossings in.
Well, I think the problem is the onus looking at it more is on cyclists, and the drivers, and I get that everyone will have some, the cyclists will have to ensure that they do things correctly, as will the motorists. But like I said, that thing when you see the look of panic of, oh God, I've got to let somebody cross because the onus is on the motorist. And yes, you could argue the motorist is taking up most of the road, using it, etc., pay road tax, etc. But I just think, everybody sort of, what you've said is spot on. Everybody needs to have an idea of how it's going to impact upon them, what they're going to do. I just basically stick with the same rule I've always had, which is I've got to be terrified of everybody else around me because they could create a problem, and I've got to just be as safe as I can be, basically. But of course, what I obviously always carry with me is I am an Audi driver. I am God's gift to the road, and you are all wrong. But that's why I have to make sure that, that nothing happens, because I'm right, you're wrong. Enough said.
When you purchase your Audi car, is there like a new highway code that you need to learn?
No, according to one of my work colleagues, and we can bleep this one out, he says that what happens is that when you purchase an Audi and you shake hands with a dealer, they genetically pass over to you something called the twat gene, which will obviously infect you and influence your driving. I mean, I refer to it as the godhood gene. He refers to it as the twat gene. And I have asked him for my next car purchase, what will take me above the quote-unquote, as he calls it, twat gene? He says I need to get some sort of drug dealer style Range Rover. So that's the next plan, to see if I can ascend higher up the Mount Olympus.
Ooh. Well, then you'd have no excuses not to get in the snow, though. That's the only problem.
Unless I say it's so blinged out and all that stuff, it can never actually touch the road when there's bad stuff, or go, like most people who drive Range Rovers, I never see any cross-country trails whatsoever.
And also, just to say, why do I need to bleep that out?
I don't know. It's just the sheer level of filth. I didn't know if I was allowed to. Oh, it's the other word I'm not allowed to use, isn't it? Yeah, sorry.
Twat is absolutely fine, everybody.
Yes.
For our American listeners, that's how you really pronounce twat. His twat. And it also, because I was bored one day when I was at school, as you are, in English, and you know how you used to look it up in the dictionary to see what things mean. It actually just means pregnant goldfish, so it's not really that big of an insult. So I don't think quite that my colleague meant it in pregnant goldfish sense, but I as I said, he looked at it one way. I say the godhood gene is passed on to the owner of the Audi. Well, there you are, folks. So have you got any other Codswallops this week?
I think that's pretty much it, really. It's other than the fact that the weather's been terrible as ever, but it's winter. It is what it is. That is life. Yeah. Such is.
Exactly, James. Come on, you just got to be cheerful. The weather is the weather.
Yes. And everything hurts because it's cold.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I do know that feeling, so don't worry. I do know it well. Yeah, 'cause my back always plays up when it's cold or warm.
Yep.
So it's either or.
You're like me, it's just a constant.
Well, it's not constant, because if it's like a mediocre kind of day, then I'm all right. But yeah, if it's too hot or it's too cold, no, it's not good. Oh God, I bet the salty tadpoles are really wishing they hadn't tuned into this episode. But thank you for bearing with us.
I think it's the polar opposite. I think they're going, God, I feel so much better about myself listening to these two. My life seems so much better. Well, I mean, obviously, apart from against my godhood Audi ownership. But anyway, moving on.
Exactly, yes. My other Codswallop this week, because obviously I had the joint one with you, was, I don't know if you've heard the story about this West Ham player who kicked his cat.
Oh, the putty cat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you're not a massive fan of cats, but I know you wouldn't do this kind of thing. But yeah, he was just kicking it around the room.
I wouldn't hurt a cat. I don't generally dislike them that much. They just set my hay fever, allergies off terribly.
Yeah. But no, I know, because I know obviously that, what I meant by that is that I know you don't particularly like cats, but I know you wouldn't ever hurt one, kind of thing.
No.
But
unless it was self-defense.
Yes, I suppose.
Came at me. One of us is coming out the room okay, and it ain't going to be the cat if it launches itself at me.
But no, this footballer, and the fact that he went on to play the game as well, because we don't watch football and stuff like that, and we don't watch sport or anything. But the fact that the guy just put him straight into the match, and I think it's disgusting behaviour, because if I just post something on Facebook that's inappropriate, work related, I could get fired.
Job,
yeah. Whereas he didn't do, they didn't do anything for this, really horrific act that he did against his cat.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand why. I don't understand why he did it. It makes no sense.
No.
So the football club's fined him, fair enough. And thankfully his pets have been taken away from him.
Oh, they have?
But yeah, his pets were taken away from him by the RSPCA. But I'll just say the guy comes across as a complete and utter... Well, he's a loser, basically. It's pathetic. It's the general same old story of someone who has been given, let's be honest, far too much money, and thinks that they can do whatever they want, and it's just not the reality of the situation. The guy's an idiot, and clearly, what I'd also say, if you're willing to do that to hurt animals, hopefully this isn't the case with him, but a lot of people who hurt animals, that's where psychopathic behaviour starts out. So, keep an eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's like insects and stuff like that as well. When they, take wings off of butterflies or whatever, kind of thing. It's all, psychotic kind of thing. But it was just the fact that they were all like laughing and thought it was funny, and I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. So
no. On a positive note, all these other, he was getting some real chance thrown at him in the grounds, wasn't it, about kicking a cat. So to be fair, I think I would definitely look at seeing if they can, if some sort of action can be taken against him, because it's just not right, and it's not normal behaviour. And the worst thing is, some people will look up to him. So this is not good. If any people think this is okay behaviour, it certainly isn't. I just can't work it out. It doesn't make sense to me. So.
No, because it's like what I put on. I wanted to write a lot more. But I sat back and told myself not to, kind of thing. But, like I put the fact that animals don't prejudice against anyone, and it's like they just love unconditionally, and it's that goes for pretty much all animals, They don't expect, they just want to be loved as they love you, But, wasn't very good at all. No. So I thought that was worthy of a Codswallop.
Very true.
And my third Codswallop is the fact that my work has now given me a date of going back to the office. And I'm really, really pissed off.
Yes. I think, unfortunately, there'll be a lot of people who feel the same way, but I can understand why you're unhappy.
Yeah. It's a good job, actually, because not a good job that I'm going back to work, because that's definitely not a good job, but it's a good job that we delayed this recording for a couple of days, because I was seething. You
were steamed.
Yeah.
You were steamed.
Yeah, because I found out on Monday, and then I said to James, look, I just cannot record today. I cannot, because I am so angry. I wouldn't have been able to have been comical with it. You know what I mean? I was livid. I was like really angry.
Part me would have enjoyed it though, just to see how angry you were, just for the whole experience. I'd be like, right, this is really going to be Codswallop. Do you think she's pissed most of the time?
The thing is, though, with regards to my team, I mean, obviously there's the part where we've all been working from home. It's been nearly 2 years now, and we've all done it, and we've adapted really, really well. And the service to the customers is exactly the same. So there's literally been no change whatsoever. But with regards to me personally, I'm the one who's got the most to lose by going back to the office, because I've got to now factor in a 2-hour commute every day. It's okay, so it's 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. So if it was potentially the other way round, then I would say it wasn't quite as bad. But yeah, because the problem is that now I've got the new car, and well, it's not new car, but new to me car, and the engine's 1.4. That means that the pet is like a petrol guzzler.
Oh, 1.4, oh, beastly power.
I know it's probably not as big as your 4.9 or whatever.
No, I've got a 4.9. I'd have no money at all because I'd just spend my entire life filling it up. No, but yeah, 1.4. No, it is. If you've got to jump from a lower engine size, it's a respectable engine size.
Yeah. I know, and I'm quite happy with it. So, you know, it's like, are we comparing engine sizes?
No, we're not. I was just having a laugh. You know I was jossing.
I know, of course I do. That's what we're doing. But, yeah, it's, so it's going to be like a petrol guzzler, and it's going to, well, the 2 trips that I did to Poole, so where I work, over the last 2 days, it's, I went from having 3/4 of a tank. No, not 3/4 of the tank. What is it when it's the fuller one? It's not 3/4, is it?
A full tank, perhaps?
Okay, let's take that bit out then.
What's higher than 3/4? A full tank, possibly?
Okay, so I went from having a full tank, let's say, to now I've got nearly nothing left.
That's the problem with... Is it petrol?
Yeah.
That's the problem with petrol, because... That's the problem with petrol, because I remember when I was having the car fix, they gave me like a 1 litre petrol, a 1 litre, which was terrifying on the motorway, but a 1 litre, and it's the amount of fuel they go just at 1 litre it went through. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. Because it just seems to like drink it, whereas the diesel I've got has got a big engine, but it doesn't, through the way the diesels operate, it doesn't seem to drink as much. Well, it doesn't drink as much.
Yeah, diesels are a little bit more economical, aren't they? That's why, I think that's why the price of the diesel is a little bit higher than the petrol, isn't it? So they can make their money's worth, but yeah.
But it's all right, because all you tree-hugging, eco-friendly bastards will have us moving on to electric cars soon.
Well, that's what Boris wants, isn't it? Apparently.
It's not even just Boris, it's just across the board. It's, anyway.
Yeah,
that's one for another day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've lost my love for Boris now, unfortunately.
I wasn't impressed when I met him. I still am not impressed with him. So,
no. But so I was quite a sort of thought, well, he could probably do a good job, kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, let's not get into politics because we don't talk about politics in this podcast. But yeah, it's it's been quite a letdown. But then again, I suppose he did have COVID a couple of times, didn't he? So, and I know what your brain's like when it comes to COVID. So maybe he's suffering, But, yeah.
Anyway, we're straying to politics, and we always don't do politics. So
no. So anyway, so I'm really annoyed with my work. Going back to that, and I'm the only one in the office, well, not in the office, but the only one in my team that's got a lot to lose, basically. And I'm really pissed off, and I'm kind of like, I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I should start looking for another job then, because I haven't got the money to be able to rent in nearer to work sort of thing, because it's in a really expensive area. It's unfortunately because where we're right by the coast, it's, like people like really want the places sort of thing. So it's like a lot of money can be spent on properties and stuff. So It's so expensive down here. It's like literally, if I moved to where you lived, I could probably, for the rent of not a studio, but like a 2-bedroom flat, for example, I could probably get a 4-bedroom house up north. You know, and I think that's ridiculous, isn't it?
I think a lot of house prices in general are just ridiculous. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but this is the problem with the way a lot of the structure of finances in this country operates. A lot of it, well, far too much of it is on house prices.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's like, you've got Harrogate near me and you're looking at sort of millions of pounds for a house that's maybe in some, like say a 3-bed house sometimes, or an apartment. It's like £3 million. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. So it's madness. I mean, I suspect what's happening a lot with work and with a lot of businesses is that you would find the worry they have is they've got offices that have been empty, and that even when it becomes apparent that probably you could work from home for a lot of them, they will like, well, we've got to do something with the office, so we've got to get people back in.
But then, the same argument that could be said is why not rent the property out?
And the problem they'd have is that, think about it, if they can prove there's no use to having the office, who's going to want to rent a big office? It's, that's the problem. That's the catch-22 situation, I guess, for most businesses. But I can understand where you're coming from. It isn't going to be much fun, and the sad thing is going to be an awful lot of people in the same boat who don't want to return to work. And hence why you've seen a mass exodus of people leaving businesses. Yeah,
exactly. So we might have to watch a space, and I'm not going to leave straight away, don't get me wrong, I'm going to see how it goes, but because I do, the really sad thing is that I really love my job, and I actually, the customers that I deal with are really nice. Okay, some of them aren't, but I really enjoy what I do, and the company that I work for is fine as well. They're a nice enough company to work for and stuff, so it's like I don't necessarily want to leave, but I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place at the moment where I'm thinking, well, I might have to. So, so we shall see. So, but that wasn't the best of news I got on Monday this week. So, Should we cheer up the salty tadpoles by moving on to some stories of the week, James?
I think so.
Did you want me to go first with mine and then you go? Because you got
I will.
Two,
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so if I do one, you do another, and so forth. Yep. Okay, cool. Right, so my first one is, it's a Talking Codswallop podcast, so this podcast wouldn't be anything without a fish story, would it? So here we go. Long in the tooth, Goldie the pufferfish has emergency dental work.
Dental work on a fish, dear God, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, looking at the pictures, that is actually pretty cute fish. So let's see. A pufferfish had to undergo emergency dental work after how do you know the gender of a fish? Sorry.
There must be a way of finding out, clearly. Other species would not be able to procreate. So somebody, the veterinarian, probably looked into it.
Because, I just never thought of a fish having a gender, to be honest.
Well, they've got to do, or they won't be able to recreate, would they? Unless it's one of these ones that, can it's like intersex and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's got to happen, Gemma. It's got to happen. The species has got to carry on somehow.
Well, there you go. Actually, this week the Metro has talked... it's not the Metro, sorry. It's the Guardian.
You see, it's not possible. The Metro cannot teach you anything apart from shit journalism.
That's why I've picked an article from the Guardian.
Almost as bad, but carry on.
Well, a little bit better, though. Come on now. So let's start again. A pufferfish had to undergo emergency dental work after her teeth grew so big she was unable to eat. The owner of Goldie, the porcupine pufferfish, Mark Byatt, I think it is actually, 64, again important to actually let you know what his age is, rushed her to the vets in Kent after noticing she was losing weight because her long teeth prevented her from eating properly. How do you know that a fish has lost weight is my other question. Medics at Sandhole Veterinarian Centre in Snodland. Can we just take a moment for the word Snodland? Confirmed the 5-year-old pufferfish's teeth needed to be sawn down. They sedated her using a bowl of water filled with a mild anaesthetic solution so that they could cut 1 inch of her teeth. The vet, Daniel, who specialised in caring for exotic pets, said porcupine pufferfish teeth are known as beaks and grow continuously throughout their lives. They're usually kept short naturally. Let me start that bit again, sorry.
It's all right. I was with you. I'm understanding.
Yeah, I was doing quite well actually as well, wasn't I?
Gemma done not fucked up. Keep going, Gemma. It's all right.
Yeah, thank you. They're usually kept naturally short as they wore down on their regular diet of hard-shelled foods. But while these foods are provided in her home environment, she is not forthcoming in eating them. As a result, her upper beak grew to the point where it was hindering her to be able to eat effectively. Goodness me, this is a large article. This is why we don't use the Guardian very often. To calm Goldie during the procedure, the water was kept well oxygenated. This meant she was still breathing nicely throughout, but was able to be held for brief periods out of the water without becoming too stressed. The veterinarian nurse, Debbie Addison, held Goldie in a damp towel to prevent her from drying out and provide a layer of protection if Goldie's puff-up defense mode is activated. When they feel threatened or distressed, pufferfish can inflate to double their size. So there we go. I thought that anyway, but I knew that anyway, but only because of Disney animated films. I think it's Disney or Pixar, whichever. Anyway, so the fishes had the procedure. I'm going to kind of skip through this now. And she responded well, and there was no stress at all. Within 5 minutes, she was able to stay up right in the water. Within 10 minutes, she was happily swimming around. Goldie was back home and eating within 2 hours. I'm going to call that the end.
Well, I've managed to slowly not go into a coma listening to that story, talking about the pufferfish. No, I mean, to be fair, we're poking fun at it, which is not a good idea, the pufferfish. Could get messy.
Yep.
But, I mean, to be fair, I was thinking, like, why do this for the fish? But then I thought about our discussions earlier about kindness to animals and things. So, yeah, I guess if the person loves the fish and it means a lot to them and you want to help the fish, it's all good. It's good. It's a nice thing to have done. So I'm not going to bash that and be nasty too much.
Yeah, which is fair enough. But I think also they said, if I remember correctly, that they've had the fish for about 5 years, and to my knowledge, fish don't really last very long. So it obviously was quite a loved fish. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. We can still make fun of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But interestingly, for mine, we're moving on to another animal topic.
Okay.
And you go into shops, you might meet the odd weirdo who's in there shopping who, is strange, but you very rarely have this happen. So, a bargain hunting mole found its way into a branch of poundstretcher and frightened staff before they came around and named him Ernest. Frightened, really? I mean, shocked, yes, but frightened. So, the furry mammal is thought to have stowed away on a pallet to get inside and spent around 4 hours browsing before he was spotted hiding by the tills last week. Store manager Judy Brewer, 64, described the moment that one of her checkout assistants screamed after finding the rat-sized mole. That is pretty big then.
Yeah.
Judy, who has worked in the shop for 4 years, said, I was like, what the hell is that? I had seen a mole before. I'm pretty sure I know that was a mole if I saw it. I've only seen wind in the willows. That's the only mole I've seen. Really? So Judy's using that as her way of working out a mole. A fake cartoon or stop-motion animation mole. But in her defense, she says, I was amazed how furry it was. He was so clean too. He didn't look like he'd just come out of a hole. Judy helped put the mole in a basket before taking him back across the road to a wooded area around 500 yards away. Whether he'd come bargain hunting, I don't know, she said, but he certainly caused a stir. He was a good 4 or 5 inches long and quite chubby. My colleague had called him Ernest Penfold from Danger Mouse. Pretty sure Ernest
Nice.
Penfold was a hamster. Judy said there were around 7 customers in the shop in Stowmarket, Suffolk, when the mole was found on February the 1st. She said, I don't know how he got across the road without getting squashed or without anyone seeing him. You couldn't see him coming in on CCTV because he obviously came in alongside a pallet. He was in the store for around 4 minutes. Customers wanted to have a look to see what he looked like. He was about the same size as a rat, but without the tail. He's quite a big boy or girl. I don't know what he was. He was a mole. I didn't want to stroke him because I don't know if they bite. We just wanted him to be safe and put him back outside. He's quite a cute-looking little critter.
Yeah.
He's going to have problems with eyesight, isn't he? Because moles have very bad eyesight. So the poor thing's probably just wandering around trying to know what's going on. But I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why whether someone has picked this lady's image to look like she's shocked, but she looks like she's in abject terror of something, and she has like almost unreal eyes on the picture. It's weird. It doesn't do her any justice as an image. But clearly, it's probably the most exciting thing that's happened in that shop in where was it, Suffolk, for quite a while, because obviously everyone was so interested in it.
Well, I mean, you don't get much excitement in Poundstretcher, do you?
You obviously don't,
No.
apart from some weird person shopping there, maybe. But he seems quite a lovable little creature. So,
Yeah.
But I can only assume the poor thing got lost because they don't have good daylight eyesight, do they? They're not designed for trying being out in that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. No. Because again, from cartoons.
Yep.
I know, but I don't know what moles are like in real life. So
I have seen them in real life. They're generally, they've got a very velvety style fur, and they're generally just kind of wee little things. But no, it's a nice looking little creature.
Aww.
But I just thought it was an interesting little story. It was a more pleasant one to discuss. In fact, both of our animal ones, apart from the Kurt Zuma kicking the cat, has been pleasant so far.
Yes, absolutely. So, did you want to read your second story last, and I end with my?
Yes, I do, because mine is so freaking weird.
Yeah, and mine is quite funny.
Yes, so it's mine up next.
Yep.
So we've gone from being nice to animals to the slightly polar opposite, which is a stomach of steel is required to take part in this rawsome food challenge. Nice play on words. I'd just like to note that both these are from the Metro, so don't expect the high quality of anything from them. So a carnivore is putting his love of meat to the test by conducting an experiment to see how long he can survive eating raw flesh every single day.
Raw flesh doesn't sound right, does it?
It doesn't, but it is kind of factually accurate.
Yeah.
Well, or is it? I don't know. Flesh is more the outside. But anyway, so the man has so far managed 78 days consuming his favourite uncooked foods, including chicken breast, steak and swordfish, apparently without succumbing to severe food poisoning. He has documented his quest to eat raw meat every day until I die from bacteria. Really? That's the hill you want to die on, pal? On Instagram account @RawMeatExperiment, sharing his daily diet with more than 60,000 followers. He washes down his meals with raw eggs or raw animal milk. In one of his first posts, the unnamed man who lives in the US tears into a steak, biting into the fat while his dog hungrily looks on. See, that I can understand, because it's like I love steak tartare, which is basically it's raw minced up steak served with egg and if I remember, onions and capers. I love that. That's great. And you have like spicy stuff with it, but it's not something you should be doing every day.
No.
But the same with this guy. He's taken the caveman diet to the extreme. He's since enjoyed delicacies including cow liver and camel milk. Okay, I can kind of understand some of them, but
even cavemen cooked their food.
Well, probably not originally, but yeah, they would have done. I'd like to try camel milk though.
Yeah, I
Camel
suppose.
milk could be interesting. So on day 33, he tucked in some minced beef, telling followers no chewing involved. You can basically just place the cow flesh in your mouth and swallow it. But again, that doesn't shock me too much because it's like eating very raw or very rare steak tartare. You've got to have a specific cut, a good cut for steak tartare. But anyway, so he said, pretty tasty. Half the cost of a steak will probably be a weekly meal along with cod. So you're getting into dicey territory with certain raw fish. With sushi grade, it's a bit different, but just wolfing down raw fish is probably risky because of parasites. But he says, following day 34, when asked how he was feeling, he wrote, "Good, I like it so far and feel no reason to stop. No crazy changes either way." By day 40, he revealed he comfortably chowed down on 1 pound of mince in 5 minutes, but while he said raw meat was growing on him, he considered cooked fresh tastes a bit better. On day 45, he treated himself to some raw bacon, which he insisted was delicious, although one follower said they thought it was a skin foot. He revealed minced ground beef has now become one of his top choices on day 76. Again, that doesn't... I could do that. That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
A brick of shredded cow and a milk of the sheep. Ground beef has become my favourite meal. I could happily eat raw beef. That wouldn't faze me. Due to the low-cost ease of consuming a pound in like 4 minutes, gathering 800 calories of absorbable cow and digesting perfectly. But he's an exclusive eating raw meat. He occasionally enjoys cooked steak and potatoes or chicken and rice. However, he's moving to that direction more and craving cooked food less. Basically, he says that he believes that eating he previously been eating mostly a plant-based diet, began to suffer health issues. He thinks eating meat has healed himself. He started eating steak and eggs for breakfast instead of bagels and smoothies. I can see on the bagels, maybe. Yeah. I felt full for most of the day and stable instead of getting dizzy from a carb crash. And a 56-year-old woman says she feels healthier than ever, rejecting a vegan lifestyle in favour of raw meat and organs. And that's mum of two, Eva LaRoche from Chicago. She feels fitter and stronger and boasts the body of a 25-year-old. And being the lovely journalistic prowess of the Metro, that's where it ends. He tells us rock all else. But there are pictures of him eating raw steak, which I have done. I can admit I've eaten raw steak, bits of it. I've had steak tartare. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I have done it in the past. The other thing he's doing, which he's having raw eggs a la Rocky style. But I wouldn't want to do it a lot because I just don't think this is a good idea constantly.
No. I mean, I get my steak done medium, sometimes medium rare, but that's it.
I go blue.
Yeah.
I go very, very rare on them. And occasionally if I have to, I'll go to sort of like medium rare.
Yeah. But no. I need my food to be cooked. Sorry, people. I'm sorry. Unless it's a salad, and then that doesn't need to be cooked.
I like when I take the knife near the steak, it recoils. And I have to drag it back to the centre of the plate.
No. Because, you can put tomato sauce with it, but no blood. Sorry, no blood.
It's like when I'm running into the, to get the full experience, I run into the field across and lick the cows. Just like, food.
I think I might have changed the name of this episode. I think it's going to have to be called Cow Licker now.
Yeah. Running and lick the cows. Farmer's like, you again, piss off.
James the Cow Licker.
Yeah.
Or it might just be Cow Licker, one of the two.
Can't just help it out. But yeah, I'd been serious. The idea of eating the raw food, I get it to a degree, but I think it's probably a bit risky. It's like, day 80, this guy's really, really thin because his entire body is run through with parasites that are eating his...
Oh, no. Did he say he was eating raw chicken?
Well, they're saying that on some of the pictures, it's hard to tell. I can definitely tell he's eating steaks, but he's eating one thing that I'm not entirely sure what it is. It could be like, it almost looks like a lung or something.
Okay.
But I don't think it is a lung. It's probably it might be a heart, actually. It's probably a heart, an animal heart. But I suppose he's been eating fish and things. I mean, again, I eat sushi, so I do eat raw fish, but it's a grade. You've got to be careful. You can't just start chowing down on like anything. because there are going to be parasites and problems with it. But if it makes him happy, I mean, the mad bastard wants to run a thing that says, eating it until I die. So I guess what the reality is, he just wants likes. So go and look at, in fact, I'll click the link while we're talking. Let's look what the Raw Meat Express says. Is he dead yet? No, he's still alive by the looks of it. But there is a picture of him eating raw octopus. This guy's, well, I'm impressed. And definitely raw liver, yeah. But raw octopus and some sort of fish. Okay, well, whatever works for him, mad bastard. And eggs. He keeps drinking raw eggs. Huge things full of raw eggs.
No. See, no. Oh, I'd hate to be anywhere near him when he farts.
Yeah, I bet he'll smell.
Yeah, definitely. And number two.
Although his protein levels are probably like, if he was a bodybuilder, he'd be like...
yeah, definitely.
His levels will be off the chart.
Right, so my last story is...
Yes.
London posties stagger around after accidentally eating a load of hash browns. Now, I have read this story, so it's a very funny story, but there is a bit of a sad ending, So just to be
sure, you mean hash brownies, not hash browns, because hash browns are potato-based things.
That's a very good point. Hash brownies is exactly what I meant, not hash browns. So, yes, I'm not gonna correct myself. You've corrected me, so it's all good.
It's all right.
Yes.
With that kind of commentary, you could write for the Metro.
They'd love to have me. Royal Mail have launched an investigation into a video that's shown postmen staggering in the streets after accidentally, in quotes, eating brownies laced with cannabis. The workers have said to have mistaken the edibles in a Pablo chocolate bar or choco bar box for innocent treats. Mm-hmm. And they were filmed unsteadily and needing help on their rounds in Clapham, South London, which I just think is amazing. A social media user, seemingly a colleague, wrote, "Today, almost all of the posties in Clapham accidentally ate hash brownies, and I had to pick them up one by one because they were so high."
Oh dear, oh dear.
One guy said he was walking to a door and thought he was walking forever.
Are we sure he was on hash and that LSD?
Yeah, maybe. Say a prayer for him now. Hopefully he's asleep or singing with unicorns. The text appeared over footage shown one dazed postman sitting in a sorting office and just about managing to relay that he had eaten 4 of these brownies. A male voice can be heard saying, "I think it's weed." One colleague was seen explaining they've been sent to an empty property with no return address. The workers said they had remained in the sorting office for a month before being shared out amongst the staff.
See, I don't know if I'd want to eat something that's just been sat around for a month.
No, yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't think I would either. But then I guess they were hungry, so, clearly we're not paying them very well. The footage was shown to Instagram stories via the account that has since been deleted.
Shocking.
Certainly is. This is where it gets sad.
Okay.
Do, 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 do. Royal Mail did not see the funny side of this incident and is considering disciplinary action.
Can't say I'm surprised, but,
Yeah.
if it's a genuine mistake.
Well, I think that's the case, isn't it? If it is a genuine mistake, then, it's not like it. And I saw the video and it kind of looked like it was a genuine mistake.
He didn't look happy then.
Well, he looks at, well, his face was kind of blurred out. So, but, he kind of looked as though he was off his face, but he didn't really realise why. So a spokesperson said, Royal Mail expects the high standards of behaviour from our people at all times. We are taking this matter very seriously. We have commenced an investigation which will determine whether any further action, including disciplinary action, might be taken. We are also reminding all staff at the delivery office of the correct procedures for dealing with items with no address for delivery or return.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. They could have been in trouble for basically messing around with the post. That's where they can end up in real trouble, where it becomes disciplinary, because they probably shouldn't do that. It should probably just be destroyed, because I think until it gets to a destination, it's the property of the Crown.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah, I'm sure that's the case, that it becomes the property of the Crown while it's in transit. You're not meant to, the things you're not supposed to touch the mail. You know, if it's like just sat around, it's only meant to be the mail people who touch it and deal with it. Because I know that once when I nearly, went to pick something up, I was like, please don't touch the mail, sir. So I was like, okay. But I'm sure it's property of the Crown. But yeah, I can see what's going on. And also, even if they're not actually done for anything, you've got to be shown to do it, haven't you? So they can't not.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, if a football player can go on and play, why not make all the posties in South London, allow, give them a knighthood.
To quote Alan Partridge, well, it sounds a bit strange, but, Alan Partridge's thing was cook a cat, not kick a cat. So either way, when he's upset over something like cook a cat, Lynn. But no, we don't condone that either. The whole thing, I think I'd be very surprised if they do go after them. I suspect probably it's just they've got to be shown to make some sort of stance against it. So, but watch this space. And whatever you do, don't eat weird brownies that you don't know where they're from.
Or do, whichever. It's your choice at the end of the day.
I probably wouldn't, because I'd be scared of making myself ill. But, if you want to take the risk, eat some raw meat as well while you're at it.
Yeah,
in fact,
exactly.
do both and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And then go to a supermarket and see if you can find a vole or a mole or whatever it was.
Yeah. Go see if you can find a mole. Try all these things.
Yeah, and a fish.
See how long you survive.
Well, James, I think then, in that note, that we should wrap up this episode.
I agree.
We've called it a quickie, but it's an hour, so it's about a length of a normal show anyway. So with editing, it's going to be a little bit less. But yes, I feel good that we've recorded. I don't know about you. You feel a bit happier? No,
it's all good. It's, about happy as I ever am. Yeah.
Exactly. So, we're both miserable still. So, in that case then, James, I think that we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I've always been James.
Yeah. And remember, guys, check us out on social media at Codswallop Pod for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And join our YouTube channel by searching Talking Codswallop Podcast. Woo! Please.